It's a great day. I don't know that we needed the tent, but as soon as you don't put a tent up, it starts raining. So it's always better to be a little safe. Thanks to everybody so much for coming out today. My name is Kimball Crangle, and I am with Gorman and Company. We are incredibly excited and honored to be standing here at Wintergreen and to be the developer moving this project forward. This has been an effort of a lot of emotion over the last three years, I think. I'm looking for people that can confirm that. It's been a while, yes. So, but we're doing it. We're under construction, and we're extremely excited about it. So I have the pleasure of introducing folks today, but before I do that, I really wanted to acknowledge unfortunately, a long list of folks that made this project absolutely possible. Developing workforce housing and affordable housing anywhere is always a challenge. Doing so in an economy that is expensive, where land prices are very expensive, where the obstacles to entry into a market are just vast, requires partnership on every level. And we wouldn't be here today without the partnerships that we brought forth. And so before I dive into that, I definitely wanted to acknowledge that we have Representative Milner here, who has been a huge advocate for us on the JBC committee. At the state level, without your efforts, we would not be moving forward with our affordable housing efforts that we are in the state, especially with the extension of the state low-income housing tax credit. Thank you very much for being here today. The project team here, there's a gentleman that's not here today, but he's with all of us in spirit, which is Jen Wright. Jen has been a development partner of Gorman's for several years and has been on this project with us day one. Jen couldn't make it today, but a big thanks to him. Jack Wolf, you know, I was thinking about you in the middle of the night and how a lot of this project is your fault because you kind of got us interested in the land, and then it went away for about a year and came back, and you really put it in front of us, and so thank you for that, Jack. Without that, we wouldn't be here today. Our design partners, Norris Design, Elena, Lindsay, huge effort getting through what was a monumentous PUD process. O'Brien Partners, Tetra Tech, Range West, Ware Malcolm, obviously the Gorman team. You know, Gorman Architecture, Gorman General Contractors, our friends at the county. I love it when you work so closely with your partners at the local jurisdiction that, you know, you can call and yell at them and cry at them, and everybody's okay with it about 2 minutes later. So Dan Osborne, I mean, can you actually stand up? Yeah. Dan had the pleasure of working in close proximity to me for a couple of years, and it was great. Don Reimer, the planning director here at Summit County, Nicole Blériot, I saw you, there you are, hi. Thank you again for all the help that you did. And then all the folks at Summit County, Scott Vargo, Thad Knoll, Jeff Huntley, Keeley, Tom Gazarowski, Paul Geiger. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jim. It's just been a tremendous team effort from everybody to get across the finish line here. Our friends, obviously, at Vail Resorts. I see Kara Boyer in the crowd. Kevin, I didn't see Kevin. Hi, Kevin. I didn't see K-Hop here either. Yeah, Kevin Hopkins and I were kind of in the trenches initially. He's kind of moved on from me in this project, though, so he's on to bigger and better things. Gabby Cohen, obviously, Jeff is here and will be speaking soon, but partnership with Vail Resorts. Had we not partnered with Vail Resorts, this property would not be moving forward in development right now. There was no way we could have afforded to buy this property. It just didn't make the numbers work. And so we put our heads together with Vail and said, how can we move housing forward at this site that benefits the community, but that is also feasible? And we came up with the ground lease structure, which truly is the partnership, you know, the public, nonprofit, private partnership, because then we brought in Summit Combined Housing Authority on the LIHTC deal, the low-income housing tax credit portion of the project, which really put the pieces together and made the puzzle connect, which was quite amazing. I see our friends Gretchen Davis, thank you, from the Keystone Owners Association, the Keystone Citizens League. I didn't see Bill or Ken, but I know those guys are watching over us, right? They're going to keep us in line. Always. Carrie, and then obviously the Keystone Neighborhood Design Company, and our management partner Quorum. Thanks so much for being here. You know, those are just the people that touch the project in terms of design, planning, entitlement work. When we start moving a project forward to actually move forward and to say, how are we going to build this thing? Building something takes money, right? I mean, it's great to get a building permit, but if you don't have the funds to go vertical or to pay your subcontractors, you're not going to get very far. And on Wintergreen, it's 196 units. So we have a tax credit deal of 40 units that services folks between 30 and 60% of area median income. So folks that are working in the county that are making between $15,000 and $45,000 a year as a household need rent levels that jive with what they're bringing in the door. These are hardworking folks that are having a really tough time finding housing anywhere throughout the county. So on the LIHTC deal alone, the financial partnerships that we had were from Vail Resorts, Summit County Combined Housing Authority, CHAFA, obviously our good friends at CHAFA that gave us the tax credit competitive award for this site, Enterprise Community Partners that raised the equity for us, City Community Capital on our construction loan, Hunt Mortgage and Freddie Mac on our perm financing, and then the state of Colorado through the Division of Housing, all came together to help financially put together a $15 million deal for the tax credit units. We then decided it would be fun to try to do an integrated site with mixed income, and so we have 156 units that are workforce housing. 36 of those are seasonal housing that we're working in conjunction with Vail Resorts to fill the need for seasonal housing for workers that come in for a short time and support the resort operations here in Keystone and throughout Summit County. But then we're also building 120 units that we've rent capped. So we've imposed in partnership a cap on rent levels that we know will work for the folks that are working in Summit County for 30 hours a week or more. And that's at 100% of area median income. Now, you can make a different income level than that, but you can be rest assured that your rent levels will not be exceeding what you can afford to pay. So rents are capped, giving you predictability in your expenses so that you know that you've got housing stability right here in Summit County. The workforce deal was one of the first deals in the country to be financed via Freddie Mac under their new workforce housing platform. And for people like me, that gets really geeky exciting because we can talk about locking our perm rates and it makes the deal feasible. For other folks, I think the important thing to know is we are really doing some cutting edge things here at Wintergreen that people all across the country are trying to figure out. And the entire team should be really proud of the fact that we were able to pull the pieces together, because all the folks that I listed off in the beginning, had it not been for everybody there, we wouldn't be moving forward on this. And then obviously the money side of things. First and foremost, our huge partners, Jeff and Matt with Aspen Grove. We have a great relationship with Aspen Grove and have done other deals with them. Looking forward to more. Great to have you guys here today and really value your partnership, not only in Summit County, but in the resort communities of Colorado. CHAFA, again, came in to fill a late need for us. City Community Capital on the construction loan. And then Hunt Mortgage and Freddie Mac, again, on that permanent financing. So, again, you know, a lot of pieces to the puzzle. That was after the joy of 2.5 years of entitling the site and spending a lot of time, you know, really figuring out what needed to happen to benefit the community in the best possible way. And I think we did that. And it feels really good to move dirt around. It's going to feel even better when we're seeing our first residents move in to this property. So today, since I've taken way too long now, I want to introduce a couple of folks that are going to have comments to share. Keystone is kind of unincorporated Summit County. Keystone is a PUD, and therefore the governance of Keystone is by the Board of County Commissioners. So our 3 county commissioners here that really led the way. We're going to have Dan Gibbs come up and talk from your perspective about this project, and then we'll have Jeff Buckheister, General Manager for Keystone and Vail Resorts, come up and share some words, and then finally have Jamie Gomez, who's the Deputy Executive Director and COO for CHAFA, come up and share a few words. And since I always forget this, we're going to toss some dirt right after people speak. So the pile is right there. So let's not forget that part. All right, so with that, Dan, I'd love to welcome you up here.
Thank you. All right. Thanks so much, Kimball. And let's see, I'm Dan Gibbs, one of the county commissioners. Karn Stiegelmeyer, one of our other county commissioners, is here too, so thanks, Karn. Thomas Davidson had to be in Denver for meetings today, but he sends his best to everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about the component that the county was a partner with, and that was the LIHTC component. But before I jump into some of my prepared remarks, it's amazing to look at this crowd right here. Dan Osborne and I were chatting right before this, and I was surprised how many people were here. But when you look at the long list of sponsorships and so forth, the partners that were involved to really make all this happen, you're all here. So thank you. But I'll focus on the LIHTC component. The Wintergreen apartments for LIHTC component was a 40-unit phase of the project, and these apartments are designed for locals earning, as Kimball mentioned, between 30 and 60% of AMI. So that's for 2 people about a little over $43,000. These apartments will address housing needs for a segment of our community that is really facing an extreme supply shortage. Summit County partnered with Gorman and Company on this component of the project. We provided $300,000 loan in support of the Wintergreen apartments, which helped secure a 9% low-income housing tax credit, otherwise known as LIHTC. The Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, CHAFA, and this tax credit will reduce costs by about $831,000. That's real money. So getting the rental development to pencil out financially in Summit County is no easy task, and especially at these AMI levels. So we're really grateful that Gorman wanted to take on this project, and it's been great to work with you. Also, CHAFA, I know they worked so hard they really embraced the vision of this Wintergreen project and supported it from day one, really. And we see the Wintergreen apartments as a place where local workers can gain a toehold here in Summit County. The residents who live here will be able to use the housing as a launching pad to participate in local economy, to grow their careers, to venture out on our beautiful public lands, to build relationships with friends and coworkers, and be a real part of our local community. We've always said, with Commissioner Stiegelmeyer, Commissioner Thomas Davidson, and myself, that we believe that people should be able to live where they work and work where they live, and this project will help achieve those goals. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely, that is definitely the case. You know, I want to bring Jeff Buckheister up here from Vail Resorts to talk a little bit about what this means, not only for Vail and your commitment to communities, but the Keystone community right here where we are.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for all coming to the groundbreaking today. I'm personally very pleased, and I know our company is very pleased to be standing alongside Gorman and Summit County and the great partnerships that are here today to really see this thing get started and to see the dirt moving and to see progress being made on workforce housing in Summit County. We're really proud of it, and I think we're proud of it because we need it, but we're also proud of it because it took a partnership to get here. Vail Resorts also came in with a land contribution for this project. That, along with the long-term master lease, is what is making this project financially viable. Summit County and their contribution with the low-income tax housing credit and that component is really what's creating a win-win here today for everybody. The commitment that we all have to workforce housing and the resources that we've been able to bring to the table is serving as a model for other communities that Vail Resorts operates in, and this is really a flagship project for our company. A year ago, when I came to Keystone, still relatively new, I was very, very excited to learn that one of the projects that I would be engaging with is this workforce housing project. Nearly 200 units of housing. It's a great experience to see Gorman working hard with the county to bring this all to life. It's no secret that we have a housing crisis here in Summit County. I see it every day. I think we all do in some aspects. And I think we're proud to be doing our part to make sure that we can house our employees and give them the comfort that they need to go to work and do their jobs every day. I was recently at a meeting, a Summit Foundation meeting, and was listening to Tamara from the Family Intercultural Resource Center talk about the housing crisis. Some of what I heard was very surprising, and it actually really highlighted for me the importance of this project, the important work that we're all doing here today. I know it's not the sexiest thing that we can do, but I think it's got the most meaning. And this will bring some much needed relief to our community. The targeted rental rates that Kimball talked about that are attractive and stable for our workforce. This project is the latest example of how, when we all come together to support creative housing solutions, we can take real concrete steps and expand the amount of housing that's available in Summit County. So thank you again to Gorman, thank you to the Summit County, the commissioners, and to their staff. It's a real true pleasure to be here, and it's great to see your ideas start to come to life out here today.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and to the entire Vail team. I mean, gosh, we went through a lot of late nights, a lot of legal documents, a lot of dictionary word games. We pulled through it. So, you know, one thing I'd like to do is have the Gorman team stand up, if you don't mind. I see a number of you sitting around. You know, Addison, Nate Stark is the Director of Architecture here in Colorado. We have Megan Boyd, who's our project manager and directs all of our Gorman General Contracting work here in the state of Colorado. Larry Graham is our site superintendent. These guys are so humble that they won't wave their hands. But hi, Larry. Larry's the guy in charge out here. So if anybody has any problems, he's your guy. I'm looking, Cassandra obviously is here, pulled this whole event together. Our CEO, Brian Swanton, came out for the event. Great to have you out here, Brian. And then our fearless leader, Gary Gorman. He's very nice. So we love Gary. And then of course we have Ben Marshall, who's the director of our architecture shop back for all of our markets. So thanks everybody from Gorman that worked on this effort. And then I'd love to have the design team stand up one more time. I see Steve Tice, Elena, Nate, Steven, everybody, hey, that was working so hard on this project. Megan, thank you. So last but not least, and I had to get that in before Jamie came up, because Jamie's such an eloquent speaker, nobody can follow him and look okay. How's that for pressure? So our partnership with CHAFA is incredibly important, not only to Gorman as an affordable housing developer, but the work that CHAFA does throughout the state of Colorado is incredible. Not only furthering our 9% tax credits, our 4% non-competitive credits, but also bringing to life and the resurgence of the state low-income housing tax credit. The work that CHAFA is doing often goes under the radar, but without CHAFA's leadership, we would be in a world of hurt in the state of Colorado and not able to do the work that we're up here doing. So just as a point of reference, Jeff had mentioned that we had 831 $1,000 of tax credits awarded to this site through a competitive process. It's exceptionally competitive. I think all of us that worked on this project, especially the Summit County folks, recognize how important that was to bring to this community. That brought to the table just about $8 million of our $15 million development total cost. And so without those funds, this project would not be moving forward. And we never give CHAFA enough of a pat on the back. And so I just wanted to make sure to have that extra call out before Jamie came on up. Jamie.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Before I get started, I just want to, I wish my wife were here because I could sass her, because she mocked me for the outfit I'm wearing today when I said it was mountain business dress code. But you and I are wearing very similar shirts.
I like your shirt.
I came downstairs and she said, are you sure that's what you're supposed to be wearing? I said, what do you mean, mountain business? She said, you look like a mix between Cheyenne Frontier Days and Denver Prep Academy. I don't know. Anyway, this is Colorado, so anything works, right? All right, first of all, let me start by saying my name is Jamie Gomez, Deputy Executive Director for the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, also known as CHAFA, and it is my pleasure to be here today. I want to start by congratulating Kimball and Gary and the entire Gorman Company team on this groundbreaking event for the Wintergreen Village Apartments. It's a very special day for you and for the community, and actually, you know, usually this level of excitement doesn't get noticed until the actual units are filled. It's great to see all the energy, which means what an important project this is for the community. So congratulations. I also want to thank you, Kimball and Gorman team, because you guys had the vision, commitment, and dedication to bring vastly needed affordable housing units to this community. I come from a mountain resort community, Durango, Colorado, where it's really important to have a place where you can live and work affordably and still sort of live in the community that you love. And that's a real problem in the mountain resort communities across the state. So thank you for the vision and commitment that you guys have shown to bring these units here. You know, at CHAFA, we really focus on, in addition to being a lender, that everybody in Colorado should have the opportunity for housing stability and economic prosperity. That's why this project is so important. When you have a rent structure that works in the community that you live in, that allows you to use all of the other resources that you have to achieve that housing stability. You can use those resources for healthcare, daycare, food and transportation, and that's what really allows you to achieve housing stability. So the things that you guys are doing, just bringing these units together and providing affordable rents, is going to strengthen this community, because it's really tied together as an economic development project. So congratulations to you. CHAFA's just happy to be one of the partners in this project. As Kimball mentioned, our role was providing an allocation of low-income housing tax credits for the 40 units that are going to be providing units to those at 60% of the area median income and below, in addition to a $2.9 million subordinate second mortgage for the workforce housing piece. Before I go on, I want to ask the CHAFA team that's here to stand up. Terry, Megan, Jerry Lynn, Joycelyn, just stand up and wave. I have the pleasure of coming to these events and speaking and getting to meet a lot of different people, but the team at CHAFA is the one that does all the work. It's people like Joycelyn who had to go into loan committee and say, we want to do an uninsured, subordinated second mortgage for this deal within the next week. And that's a hard sales job when you have a loan committee that's sort of rough sometimes. So congratulations to the team. All the things that you do are why we're successful at CHAFA and affordable housing. So before I close, just let me say again, I think this project is fantastic. It's a win-win for the individuals, families, for Gorman and the community. It's a project that I look forward to see coming to fruition when the units are built, and hopefully you guys will invite me back out for the actual grand opening. Thank you.
Yeah, the late June was just fun all around. So thanks, Joycelyn, definitely for that. Gap filler loan. You know, one of the issues that we find in all of our deals when we're dealing with rent caps is that you're limited on the revenue that you're bringing in. So you can only finance so much debt. And in this environment of increasing construction costs, increasing labor costs, we have a reduced tax credit equity pricing structure right now. Interest rates are going up. We hit a real, like, oh shit moment I think at this point now, we're going to go this way, and we're going to do a ceremonial dirt shoveling. I wore my white pants today just to encourage the dust a little bit more. So if you'll please join us with that, and then we have some refreshments, and we'd love to also hang out and chat a little bit more. So thank you all very much for coming.